Welcome to the Nerd Pow Wow. Follow us on YouTube where we upload new videos every Friday, or check us out on your favorite podcast platform. Spoiler warning, we do deep dives on characters, storylines, and theory crafting. With that said, we are going to be talking about the Master of the Seven Seeds, Death, the Dark Angel, otherwise known as Archangel or known as Angel, Warren Worthington III. Rybane, tell us more about him.
Yeah, he's been around for a long time. He actually originally came out, he was the Avenging Angel. That's what he was named when Xavier first discovered him, and he took on Angel as a founding member of the X-Men. Warren Kenneth Worthington III. He's financed more superheroes than more people realize. He's financed the Champions, which he was a founding member of, the member of the Defenders. It's been a lot of things that he has been financially behind as his business, but then of course we have all of his superhero dealings. He's been a roller coaster of a character. He's had a lot of ups and downs. When he originally appeared, he was just a winged human mutant. Let's see, he does have some characteristics in that form, or the original Angel before he was altered. Had a lot of things about him that are less known, like the fact that he has a hollow bone structure, more like a bird. He's got overly dense muscles, making him stronger than humans. He's got all kinds of unique. He's got night vision. His vision is as good or better than in eagles. They say super metabolism. He doesn't generate body fat. He's very bird-like. They made him very bird-like without taking any bird features outside of the wings, of course.
Yeah, and with his original appearance, I think he was kind of forced to using his abilities to escape a burning dorm. And when he did that, he saw his other dormmates up there were in trouble. So, not wanting to expose himself, he dressed up as an angel, as Gabriel, I think. And flew up there and rescued everybody. So, humble beginnings for kind of a rich dude. Yeah.
And in that rescue, he rescued Cameron Hodge, who would become one of his closest friends and confidants, business partner, everything else, and then also become probably one of the worst enemies he's ever had in his life. Probably worse than Apocalypse when it comes to actual effects on his being, because Cameron Hodge would ultimately be the one for him to responsible for him ultimately losing his wings the first time.
Yeah,
because when he was impaled by a harpoon during the Marauders' purge of the Morlocks, and he was harpooned when he was stuck to the wall. After Thor saved him, they took him to the hospital, and Cameron Hodge falsified medical records that there was an infection in his wings, forcing them to amputate his wings. So that was his friend doing that. And that was also during the X Factor time when Cameron Hodge became a pretty significant character in the comics during that time. Yeah, because he was helping run X Factor. And what you don't know is he's a member of the right. He's actually the leader of the right. They were anti-mutant, truly anti-mutant, unlike the X Factor that was posing as anti-mutant to secretly save mutants. Because what they would do, they would fight themselves. The public called them the exterminators when they were in their costumes. So they were X Factor as the bad guys, and they would show up, and you would have like them fake fighting each other to save the mutants or have the mutants taken. So the exterminators versus X Factor. But Cameron Hodge was using all of that to actually weaken and do a lot of pretty horrible stuff. He was not a good guy.
He kind of got his revenge on Cameron Hodge at the end there. I mean, he did decapitate him.
Yeah.
But, of course, it's Marvel Universe. He didn't die from that.
No, they did
just put his head on different robot bodies and other entities and stuff like that.
Well, they did a uniquely good job with Cameron Hodge with why he didn't die, though, because he had a pact with Nastir, which is one of the demons. So he was actually immortal. It didn't matter what happened to him. He could not be killed. And then he got mixed up with the Phalanx. Even after Nastir got purged, he got messed in with the Phalanx. and incorporated a phalanx body using the technarchy technology. He stole basically like Warlock from the New Mutants. Took his powers, and he actually, because he killed what's her name?
He killed Gordon's girlfriend, Candy, right?
Candy Southern. He killed her,
Poor Candy.
I know, Candy. And Candy,
Candy.
last appeared during this time, but she came around shortly, almost at the same time as Angel in '67.
Yeah.
So she was around for a long time, and she stayed dead afterwards. That she kind of came back as a phalanx, but they said it was a copy, and that thing was ultimately killed too. But they have never brought Candy back. She officially led the Defenders for a while in a non-powered role. She was like the administrator of the Defenders, deciding what they would do and things like that. She's had a lot. So yeah.
To the whole story arc with him becoming Archangel and Apocalypse saving him from that plane crash. That's really when I think it takes off for Angel. He was a founding member, but he wasn't like the member that everyone paid attention to.
Yeah, his abilities just felt like, just a little bit lower tier.
Mm-hmm. They didn't use him well.
No, I agree. They didn't use him well.
Yeah, and he was also just another playboy philanthropist character. You have the comic world is chock full of those. The playboy philanthropist who people don't necessarily know is a human, or as a mutant or powered or whatever, because he hid his powers quite often. He had a backpack that he would keep his wings. He would tie his wings down sometimes. He had an image inducer to keep it. He hid his powers a lot. His family was disapproving, etc. So that was a big part of it. So I think changing him into giving him some depth of character as well as increasing his power base really did some cool stuff to him.
And I've noticed that the animated series and even the movies really put it where Warren wanted to be normal. He wanted to be human. And I don't think in the comics he really did.
No. He wanted to live in the best of both worlds, maybe.
He really did, yeah.
Yeah.
But he enjoyed being what he was.
Yep.
That's why he got on that plane to possibly kill himself.
Yeah, well, yeah, they kind of left that open, but he even said he was originally on that plane because he wanted to fly.
Yeah.
And because we do know that the plane was sabotaged by Cameron Hodge.
Yes, we do know
that.
We know
that much. So what his ultimate plans were, he got blown up beforehand. Because it was a pretty dark. I remember reading that comic firsthand. I was a strong collector at that time, and I'm like, holy shit, Angel just killed himself. But and the way they brought him back was beautiful. It was one of the best, killing off of a person or character and then bringing him back. So you could tell that they planned this arc. It wasn't like the guy's been dead a while, we need to bring him back with something cool. This whole arc was planned.
Yeah.
And I don't know that they knew he was going to become quite the mainstay that he did, because that greatly improved Angel as a his popularity.
I definitely agree with that. The animated series take on it, I thought that was a great couple episodes.
Oh yeah.
Transform him into death, and ultimately that is Rogue zapping it out of him where he changed. But actually in the comics, he thought he had killed Iceman. And all of a sudden he snapped out of Apocalypse's control and wait, what the heck am I doing? I just killed my friend.
Yep. That was a great scene too. I there's some scenes in comics that just stick with you.
Oh yeah.
And he shattered Bobby. He just blows him apart. And he's freaked out that he'd done it, but it was just a decoy created by Bobby, but that was good. And when he because he had problems where it was finding a balance between the light and the dark there for a long time. And even when his feathered wings came back, they weren't actually his feathered wings. They were just a different version of the techno-organic, or the organic, the death one.
The techno-organic guy. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, those type of wings. But so he was able to transform back and forth. Even now to this day, even though he's gone through things since then, he can transform back and forth between the two. But he still has control issues when he's in the Archangel form. He did a lot of work with it. He was dating Psylocke for a long time, and him and her had gone off to like a retreat, and it was almost like therapy and couple time for the two of them, doing both of it, trying to purge that from him. So
God, imagine dating a telepath though, and they're your therapist. That sounds awful.
That does sound awful.
No, thank you. They had a weird arc for a while there, where he had gone when he'd gone dark, he'd gone evil again, and Apocalypse was killed, and there was a child Apocalypse, and a group of heroes were deciding whether or not to kill the child Apocalypse. It's the old "do you kill Hitler" kind of thing. And even Archangel wouldn't do it, but Phantom X did. Phantom X kills the child Apocalypse. But what they didn't know is that the original Apocalypse had implanted in Archangel something called the Death Seed. And this Death Seed, when it activated, made Archangel the successor to Apocalypse. So he started becoming like Apocalypse. He actually kind of reformed, kind of went and got the clan Akaba, which is an ancient clan of Apocalypse descendants. Some, not all of them are descendants. Some of them are just mutants, but they were descendants of him, and he's leading them. And his whole goal is he's searching for a life seed, because he's going to destroy the entire planet, wiping out the future of Earth, and then using the life seed to recreate a new life. He actually destroyed a town in Montana as an experiment, completely killed 5,000 some odd people, and used a life seed to re-inhabit that place. And it had like a temporal anomaly, shielded it, and made it 130 million years of time had passed inside of that. And it formed tabula rasa, which is like a whole different kind of ecosystem inside this, what was this town. So he was really getting to that point. He even turned Psylocke. Psylocke tried to get him back, and he even turned Psylocke into the New Death for a while as one of his horsemen. But like I said, the Jean Grey from the Age of Apocalypse realm killed him. And this was what was crazy about that is he was brought. This is where it got weird. It was really cool up until then, but then they got weird. So all of a sudden, he's alive. They've killed him, but there's this new body of Warren there, and this body is 100% like he was originally. It doesn't have any of the Archangel things, etc., and he also has no memories. He doesn't even know who he is. He actually thinks he's a real angel. He tries to fly to heaven, which is kind of weird. I don't know what the hell that was all about. But so it was kind of awkward, and he was just this weird character nobody knew what to do with. So instead of giving it any story or whatever, just all of a sudden a new writer came on and he had all his memories back. And he had the powers of Archangel back. They've never explained that block there. It's just, throw that in the garbage, we'll go back.
Guys, we made a mistake. We know you know that we made a mistake. We're just gonna... No. Yep, out of here.
I do think a lot of the writers will do that just to have talking points for guys with podcasts. Like, hey, do you know this part? It doesn't make sense. The writers don't care. I think they do that on purpose.
I think they do sometimes too. I think that writers are like, I'm not talking about that. But he had 2 kids during that time, 2 children with Pestilence. The I can't think of what her name was.
Was she the Morlock, or is this a different one?
No, this was a newer one. She wasn't the one, the Morlocks. This was she's Asian. I think it was Ikasumi. Was it like a real name or something like that? But I can't remember if she had like a code name or whatever. But she was the Pestilence. They had 2 children, Uriel and Iman, and they were the Apocalypse twins. And Kang actually came and took them and raised them in a different time. and he was like really cruel, etc. And so it kind of twisted them up, and they escaped, and they wanted to come back, and they wanted to kind of do the same thing that Archangel did. They considered themselves like heirs to Archangel, so they wanted to do the same thing, but Sunfire ultimately killed them, so they were taken out too. But he did have a couple children that way. That was a kind of a neat arc too. So he's been through a lot. I mean, he actually became the Horseman of Salvation. This Horseman of Salvation. He actually became Life for a while. Nate Gray, the X-Man, decided he wanted to kind of be the opposite of Apocalypse, and he made the Horseman of Salvation, and that was really interesting. So Angel was Life. Storm was briefly Life too. Blob became Bounty. Magneto became Peace, and Omega Red, we just discussed, became Wellness. And it was kind of weird. It was kind of I don't know. I think they tried to get a little biblical with it. Like they had Nate Gray looking all Jesus-like, and even these guys, they looked more like monks almost. They had like Omega Red had like a hood. It was really kind of odd. But that all got put back to normal, thankfully.
Well, that didn't really work. That didn't
really. Yeah, I do wish they, in some ways, got a little bit more biblical with their character named Angel or Archangel. I was doing some looking into some biblical stuff, some of that stuff, and seeing like if Archangel was an archangel, which of the 7 biblical archangels would he be?
Right.
And so, one idea is maybe Michael. Michael's traditionally, he's just a badass and beats the shit out of anybody.
He's used the name Michael before in the comics. He's gone by Michael. That's fair.
And that would be a very appropriate representation in that aspect. So there's a saying basically that if God sends Gabriel, he has a message of importance or of grace for you. But if God sends Michael before you, Michael is the message. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah. As far as Michael, those were some of the connections I could make there. Another angel, Azrael, an angel of death. There's that tradition there. Typically that character's more in Islamic tradition. And death isn't really depicted as an end of life. It's more just a continuation of life. So an angel of death has a whole different kind of meaning in that tradition, where it's not really seen as a monstrous creature. But the interesting thing is, Azrael is known to have been the only archangel to travel to hell to grab dust that was needed to make Adam from Adam and Eve.
Oh, interesting.
He fought. He was the only angel that was brave enough to face the hordes of hell to gather that dust. So of the archangels, apparently gives less fucks than Michael. So, but
I've always seen Michael depicted as a badass, but always following orders.
Yeah. Yep.
I've always seen that kind of. He's always there on someone's behalf.
He's the dutiful guy. He is the leader though too. Like of the angels, Michael's archangels are the second tier in the hierarchy out of the 9 orders. But Michael can tell every order what to do. Like they have.
Yeah.
That's him. So, but yeah, so like there are some connections with some angels, but Archangel reminds me a lot biblically of some of the old kings, like King David, some with some kind of charisma to them, and some kind of leadership that they get corrupted a bit over time. I can see maybe things there a little bit. Yeah, and like with the wealth too, and You know, that
Yep.
yeah. So like I can make some connections there, but I just wish they made more of an effort with some of this with this character specifically to connect those roots. You know, you have DC has Constantine and all that. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
They don't mess with much Christian superhero based things. They don't
Yeah.
mess with that a lot. You have some characters that are religious, but you don't have a lot of like that religion based powers or that religion. They did do they kind of made up their own shit about that. So they kind of created a subsect of mutants like things. They have the chair that I can never pronounce it. I don't even know how it is pronounced. I've only ever seen it written, but it's like Chiarafin or Chiarafim,
Seraphim.
and they're mutants with wings. There have been a lot of them. You know, so like one of the Guthrie kids has wings. There's all kinds of them that are like winged mutants, and apparently they were the historic enemy of the Neophim, which are the demonic-looking mutants, Nightcrawler, Azazel, those kind of guys. So, but they died out, and they figured that there was some like Chiarafim bloods, you know, in the lines somewhere in Warren's genealogy, somewhere back in his history. So he's descended from, because when they were playing around with it, that's when they started giving those healing powers. That all of the winged or mutants now had some kind of healing power, and his blood could heal people, but his blood burned Nightcrawler.
Oh.
So there was a definite kind of thing between, you know, the demonic looking ones and the others. So that they played along with a little bit with the angelic abilities, and he has a brightness aura. That's something they never talk about.
Yeah.
That's one of his powers. He has an aura of brightness, but I don't know what the hell it does. It's just aura of brightness.
It's probably like an aura of protection that paladins have. Everybody gets +3 to their saves, or
I think it looks more like a charisma check to me.
Yeah, right.
But they do that sometimes. They have these weird powers that they don't, or they give him a cool power and then they downplay it for the rest of the time. Like his wing blades when he's Archangel, the flechettes that he throws out of the wings.
Yeah.
That most people they kind of got away from the whole thing, that they're full of neurotoxins. There's a paralytic agent in those as well. So not only is he impaling you, but he's paralyzing you. You know what I mean? So, but that they just kind of like downplay that. Now they're just, you know, shooting blades.
Yeah.
So it's just, you don't see that whole thing played up very much. And he can fly Mach 1 as Archangel. I mean, he's moving. He's breaking the sound barrier. He also had a hypersonic scream that could, as Archangel, that they just kind of got rid of. There was some neat stuff that they had that
they're like, we're gonna do this once, and
I'm gonna do this one. Like they did that shit with Superman and stuff too. Like gave him a random power once in a while.
Yeah.
Like, wait, and then took it away. Like, how is that even possible? But it was.
Have you guys watched Ironheart?
I have.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, I watched the first episode, okay? I decided it wasn't quite for me. But Kyle, who was on for the Dark Side episode, he said, "Oh, well, did you know who's playing Mephisto?" And so I had to look at the clips that he was on the show for, and I was so excited. Yeah.
I'm very excited. I will tell you that show grew on me. The first 4 episodes, when I first, you know, they like released it in chunks. The first 4 episodes, I was like, I mean, I was kind of just like, I can't. I don't know if I can. But then I was like, I gotta watch it because
it's Marvel. And I'll eat any slop they'll feed me.
Yeah, I'll eat it. I'll smile while I'm doing
I
it.
get it. Yeah, no, for
I
sure.
myself the whole time. But no, but the second half turned it up quite a bit. When I started introducing the magic stuff, that is when it kind of got cool.
Okay.
I don't much care for the actress. I love the girl that plays her friend that becomes the AI.
Yeah.
She's great. the magic. I can't think of the magic girl's user's name. In the show, I can't think of what the heck her character's name is. She exists in the comics. What's that?
I said I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I would, and I just can't think of what it's called. But anyway, when they introduced her, there was a lot of characters I liked, but the idea of this person being mind-blowingly genius, like unbelievable genius, and yet they decide they're gonna, you know what? All this genius, I should use crime to get to where I need to go. In petty crime, like stupid crime.
Yeah.
Like dumb shit. I'm like, that just, it almost seems stereotypical.
I don't identify with any of like the things she's motivated by. She just seems to want to be a hero to a media presence or something. Like, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't even. You're right. I don't think she has an established what she wants. It doesn't. I don't ever get a feel for that. Like what her actual goal is until the very end.
Well, she wants to be better than Tony Stark, or at least she wants to be a version of Tony Stark, right? And so it's like, almost, she just wants like the fame. Like that's what it feels like to me.
Villainous motivations. Feels villainous.
Yeah. And then she's doing crime. So I guess maybe
she's feeling like that. And then her choices at the end. You know what I mean? She literally chose to make a deal with the devil. Like, it's only going to affect me, right? And because
that's how deals with the devil work.
Yeah, like oh my god.
But I like who they got to play the devil or Mephisto. I bring that up just because of we were talking about hell and heaven and all that stuff, and how DC has their thing. So Marvel does dabble in devil characters, but
they just make it their own, which is true of most of their godlike things. Like Thor is nothing like the mythological Thor.
No,
I mean, there's some. I mean, the hammer source kind of, the Uru and the Mjolnir's original, like, because the handle, like the handle was Loki tricked the guy making the handle, and that's why the handle on Mjolnir's so short, because he was like screwing with the guy making the hammer, etc. It wasn't supposed to be so short. That's the actual mythology. So there's a couple things that they kept, but most of it, he's supposed to be this red-haired Viking-looking dude, not this like
Chris Hemsworth.
I mean, I love Thor. They're one of my favorite characters, but I'm like, he is not Thor from mythology. They even played with that in the comics for a while. There was a guy who got the powers of Thor who looked like the original or actual Thor, and it was a rivalry between the two of them for a bit. But they kind of made up their own hell. They made up their own heavens. They just kind of do their own thing, which I can appreciate. Because it makes it less like structured. They can kind of do what they want with their own world. So speaking of the Mephisto and all that stuff, and going back to Angel, he actually dated Wanda for a while. Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
Which is a weird mix.
Yeah.
That's a very weird mix.
Like, literally, when like they when you look up his power set and then they have the weaknesses under it, under the weaknesses in fandom, they have listed beautiful women.
Wow.
Yep.
Such a weakness.
Yeah. Because he was one of the, like every other thirsty teenage boy and perverted old professor for when Jean was part of the group. He was like that triangle with Jean and Scott for a while. As a matter of fact, when X Factor formed, Scott was with Madeline. And they find out Jean's alive. So now there's a chance for Warren, and Warren's like got all this like hey, maybe there's a chance now.
Is this where he disses Candy?
Well, yeah. Well, pretty well. It was,
or it might have been after Candy died.
No, it wasn't.
No,
it was kind of funny. He was feeling this, but he hadn't acted on it. And Jean was having a moment, like she was really upset. I forget what had happened, but he was just comforting her. He was genuinely just comforting her. There was no bad intent. And Candy walked in and saw this, and refused to hear about it, everything else, and that's when they broke up. And then shortly thereafter, she was killed. But yeah, so he was that, and then he was with Husk for a while, Paige Guthrie, and like Paige was like a child. I mean, she was young, like teenage young, and I'm like, oh, that's a little bit. I mean, people know age in comics, so
Yeah.
so it's like
Right.
we've known Angel for years and years and years, and Paige is this new, fresh, like country girl off of the Guthrie farm. It's breeding mutants like wildfire. And then he also was with Laura Kinney for a while. He's with X-23 for a little bit. I'm like, yeah,
That's definitely an interesting match there.
yeah, isn't it though? But I liked him with Psylocke. Psylocke and him, that worked, and they were in a long-term relationship. They were together for a minute in the comics. I really liked those, but then she started catching feelings for the new Thunderbird. He's what the hell's his name? He's a new character. I'm not overly familiar with him.
I just liked him with Candy.
Yeah, Candy was cool.
Candy was the OG.
Yeah, the OG.
One of the story arcs with Archangel I liked is so his uncle was Dazzler. So it's not the female Dazzler with the fireworks we all know. It's it's a male Dazzler, and I guess he was a diamond smuggler. And he ended up kidnapping Warren Worthington and Candy at one point. He ended up dying during this battle.
Neil Shara is the new Thunderbird. He only just came around in like 2000. He's an X-Men, but I don't see the guy hardly anywhere. Like they created him and he was there for a little bit, and he's going by Thunderbird, which both the Proud Stars are around. So because after Krakoa and stuff, they brought John back, the original Thunderbird John. Because John and his brother, the Proud Stars, are Amerindian, and then they made this Thunderbird Indian, like from India Indian, which I was like, it's weird. Like, why did you feel the need to do that? Like, I don't know. It just seemed odd. An odd choice like that. Like someone thought they were being tricky, that these people were Amerindian and this one was actually from India. Like, I'm like, that's not tricky. It's dumb. Like, you're not being tricky. That was dumb. It almost, I don't know. But
they thought they did a thing.
What's that?
They thought they did a thing, but
they did. It was just kind of a failure.
Pull away again.
Yeah. But yeah, he was on Krakoa and stuff, but he became a minor character. But anyway, the whole point of bringing him up was that Psylocke was catching feelings for him, and that was ultimately the demise of Psylocke and Warren. So, yeah. I like. What's that?
Warren's got the looks. He's got the money. And the weakness is beautiful women. So he's definitely okay.
Because I really liked when, like, there were some fun comics with Angel after he left the X-Men. So when him, Bobby, and Beast all left the X-Men, they were kind of off doing their own things. But then they formed the Champions, or the Champions of Los Angeles, so they went by, and that was a cool team. I mean, it had it was Black Widow was part of the team. Ghost Rider. Well, there was someone. I'm missing somebody else there.
Black Widow, Ghost Rider, and then there was one other person along with Angel.
Ghost Rider, Iceman, Hercules. Oh, and Darkstar, the Russian girl, Darkstar, who was kind of a cool character. That was cool. It was short lived, but it was cool. They even bought a repurposed or retired Quinjet and called it the Chamjet or some shit like that. They had an old Quinjet that they used, and they were kind of like the Avengers Light. And then he was part of the Defenders after all of the core Defenders left. He was a Avenger for a little bit, but that was all some Moondragon manipulation. Moondragon was trying to power up the Avengers, and she was mind controlling people to become Avengers. But yeah, I don't know. I liked him during that time.
I liked what they did with him in the animated series. I spoke that earlier, but there was the episode where, I mean, he just was going to kill Apocalypse, and he had this big old plan where there was a ship, and so the X-Men boarded the ship, thinking they would get the drop on Apocalypse, and eventually, ship ended up helping them get Apocalypse to shoot him into space, and then the ship crashed, and Beast was all upset. He loved Ship.
Ship's great.
Yeah.
Ship was great. Ship during the X Factor run, the original X Factor. The original X Factor was such a good comic. They did switch artists right about the Archangel time. I didn't like that artist. It was really sketchy art, and I don't like sketchy art when it comes to comics. I like nice, crisp. Like John Byrne is one of my favorite like X-Men artists. I like that nice, well-defined, outlined characters, Even like Leafield is a little sketchy for me, and the guy's proportions are fucking weird. But the comic stories were kept great, were still great, but I had a real hard time like being excited about the art for a while there. But that was a great run. I loved that original X Factor comic. I collected those for a long time. Good stuff.
Sure.
Anytime the original X-Men got back together, it was cool.
Yeah.
And I thought Wolverine and the X-Men, when they had the Apocalypse and Angel, where he was going to turn him into Archangel, I thought that was a very good episode as well.
Yeah.
He just had a short brief respite on Wolverine and the X-Men.
Yeah.
But Apocalypse is actually, Mr. Sinister's up there, but Apocalypse has been one of my favorite characters. I think he's amazing. All the different things he tries to do and
he's got these long-term plans.
Oh yeah. He started a long time.
I thought Sinister was bad. My gosh.
Yeah. Sinister's been just doing it for 200 years.
Yeah.
Apocalypse is lots of centuries.
Yeah. I like Apocalypse too, as he's almost like this he's almost like a minor deity, like a demigod amongst the mutants.
Yeah.
I mean, he's really closer to that. And I like the idea of that, you've got the people that are of the he's of their people, but he's like this demigod and they're your normal mutants. And I like the idea that struggle against them. Sinister's shady and always in the background. He's he's the mad scientist kind of guy. He's cool, but Apocalypse is almost like a force of nature.
Yeah.
Even his death triggers someone else has to be Apocalypse. And that's almost like what they're saying in the comics. There can't not be an Apocalypse.
Feels like
so. Like he's some kind of balance, which I think they were trying to make Nate Gray the counterforce to, Apocalypse, which was fail to me. But that's one it would be cool to have find something that has been like, maybe it's been dormant, maybe Apocalypse imprisoned it, or him or her, and they've been hid away for all this time in the White Room or some pocket dimension or something, and it's the opposite of Apocalypse. It's Apocalypse's ultimate nemesis. It'd be kind of neat to have that yin and yang there.
And they never really did that.
No.
Yeah, they might have missed something good.
Yeah, they tried it with Nate Gray, but it was fail. So,
if you could be transformed into a horseman of Apocalypse, what horseman would you be? And what power would you be?
I'll go ahead and not picking one of the Marvel characters.
I'm gonna say if I got turned into a horseman, I would I'd go with probably the Horseman of Pestilence. I could spread disease and chaos. But I think also I would want a techno-organic pancreas. You know what? You give me that Apocalypse, I'll do whatever the you want, man.
I don't know. I think I would pick Death. I think because he's just in charge of. He's the main guy. You got pestilence, war, famine. I'm like, I don't really want to starve people. I don't want to create war. I just, I want to be it. I am death. So I don't know, and especially with Archangel's death, I think he was perfect for it. He could fly. He just he's death. I think he did a really good job.
I think that just in the Marvel world, death is kind of the obvious answer to me too. But I think if I think about the actual Horsemen of Apocalypse, I would actually choose war, because war isn't just creating destruction. War is a lot of times used to create a balance, and trying to push forward a mechanism or an ideal or a mindset or something like that. It's a moving force. It's driving something, whether you agree with what it's doing or not, or its methodology. War is the tool. War is it's apocalypse.
Challenging in some way.
Yeah. War is what makes it happen. Pestilence, death, and famine are all a result of war. Without war, you don't have the other three horsemen, because you're not. It just doesn't exist. War is the one that creates the strife, creates the conflict, creates whatever is pushing the entire thing forward, so that the other ones can then thrive. There's no death without the other three. Death needs famine, pestilence, or war, or what else? What would he have? So it's kind of interesting. You could think of them as his instruments to get to where he wants, but I think ultimately war would be what I would choose, because it's the most actual control. May not be the leader, but he's controlling. He's driving the narrative. He's creating that, and I don't need the throne. I need the control. So,
but the throne's kind of nice, though.
No, there's nothing wrong with the throne.
I'll just be the useful idiot. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, and like I said, like
I'm used to being that. Come on.
when shit goes sideways, I can be like, "Hey, I'm not the one in charge here."
Right, talk to him.
Go check out the guy on the throne. But no, power-wise, if I was going to be war and I wanted a power, I would want the power of empath. I would want the power to manipulate emotions. That's the simplest solution for war. It's not my ideal superpower if I could choose any superpower.
No, it makes sense though, because if you're trying to create conflict, I mean,
yep. You could just use, nothing would generate war as he could just pushing emotions. So if I was going to be the ultimate war, I would choose to be empath. I would steal empath from the Hellions. He was a character from the Hellions and the White Queen's Hellions. He's a character that can manipulate emotions, and he was a real disgusting bastard too. But he would be a great war, because it's the ultimate tool to create war, make people hate each other. So if I was going to write it, that's what I would do. What's that?
We all just got to love each other.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
So
you know what? I think I'd come with Omega Reds a bit. That's what I'd want for Pestilence, because he's kind of got that aura of, sickness around him and whatnot. So kind of feeds off of the life force of other people. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I mean, if you could pull in anything from there, I mean, even like Dracula himself, who is a big part of the Marvel universe, would be a fantastic pestilence or famine, depending on how you look at it, I guess.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's interesting.
Is anything else about Angel? He's been around a long time.
Yeah. I think I've said this in multiple episodes, but Angel was responsible for my favorite scene in comics.
Yeah.
So when he gets pulled up and Harpoon sticks him to the wall by his wings, and Colossus loses his shit and just reaches over and grabs Riptide by the throat and just smashes his throat. And his face is, they literally have Colossus's whole silver body, but his face is black. And he tells Harpoon to make peace with his gods because he's next. Like that moment, I'm like, like
Colossus.
like it's like I always wanted to see Colossus lose his shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just that's it. You know, he's just this walking machine of just durability and strength, and he's got a lot going for him. I just really like that.
You just see all that restraint in him, and you just want to see him just let loose.
Let's go. And he did. I mean, I know I've said this a million times, but I forget who it was. It was this Stormer Kitty that was like thought to themselves. They see the thought bubble that Peter was just made for gentler things. Like this, that altered him, and they could have used that. They could have done to Peter right then what they kind of did to Angel himself. They could have taken Peter on a journey of not being as restrained. Like his restraint was what's allowed these kind of things to happen, and blah blah blah. But yeah, and it's also funny that that made me think it's also funny that we mentioned Thor, because Thor is the one that saves Angel. He's the one that finds Angel impaled in the tunnels, takes out the harpoons, and carries him out of the tunnels. So Thor was actually involved in all that too. It's just funny that we brought him up for a completely different reason, but yeah,
I like it when X-Men in Avengers or X-Men in other groups that normally don't, and all of a sudden there's a Thor there, or there's something. I think it's pretty cool. Like with Omega Red, there's an Iron Man, the Hulk. They play parts with that Omega Red as well.
And I like it when they show up, and they're showing up because there's a disturbance, and they're there to help. Not once again having some kind of theological disagreement, and everybody has to fight now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It gets
I'm here to help.
The AV the verse X thing. I'm just tired of it. I mean, I get it, but it's too regime-ish. It's got too much of a, I don't know. I just don't like the whole.
A lot of these
dynamic.
characters you'd like to think are more altruistic, and it kind of frames a lot of these characters almost xenophobic, and like they want to keep to their own little bubbles. And like, oh, we're the Avengers. We don't deal with that mutant stuff over there. Just don't mess with us, okay, guys? Come on.
That's right.
You deal with the government, legislation, all that. We don't care about that.
Yeah, Avengers.
Oh, you want us to register? Oh, we're gonna have war about that. Oh.
Right. It was almost like they were okay with as long as it was don't ask, don't tell.
Yeah, my gosh.
So, but yeah, I just don't like that. I mean, I don't mind them having like. I understand conflict between Captain America and the Punisher.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, or that kind of thing. But Captain America and most of the X-Men, he doesn't know that they're heroes. You know what I mean? They've saved the universe multiple times together. They may have had a conversation or 6. You know what I mean? It's like
for sure.
They've been through the Secret Wars together. They've been through the Infinity Gauntlet together. The Infinity War together. They know where they stand. So that like get out of here with that. It's cheap. It's a cheap mechanism to sell comics. We're going to put a lot of superheroes in this comic. We need a reason for them to all be there, and they don't do it as good as they like. Secret Wars, fantastic, because they gave them a common enemy, and everybody went there. Infinity War, same thing, common enemy. It worked. Yeah. So, but now it seems like they're just hitting that same old trope of a reason for them to have conflict. Even the whole Krakoa series, the mutants are finding their own sovereign nation. They're making their own. They took over. They had Mars and a whole planet. So now it's so us and them. Like no, that's not what the X-Men were. It was all about coexisting. About we're all just people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we're here to help. And it was the one thing about Xavier I liked was the dream of the coexistence of that instead of this weird anti-mutant thing. And they've run that into the ground. And as far as I'm concerned, I mean, how many times can people save the lives of every first person on the planet and still be the bad guy? It's dumb.
Dumb.
Yeah.
Even tomorrow, it's going to happen.
Yeah. So, but I keep reading. I still love it. I get it right sometimes. I just wish that they would kind of change it around a little bit. I think they're going down in the comics themselves. I mean, I wish they would kind of get a little bit back to the roots in a little bit. I think they're kind of going. They keep going.
It's just
these
new
tangents.
writers, new thought processes.
Yep, and they want to put their stamp on it, and like you don't have to destroy something to make it yours. And I think that's a common mistake anybody who takes over anything makes.
Yeah.
They feel like you can have something that works, and you're now in control of it, and still recognize everything that works for it, and continue to make it great. If you continue to make something great, you're just as successful or more successful to me. Like if you're able to take something someone else created and maintain that greatness, that's a hell of an accomplishment.
Yeah.
And, but destroying it and trying to remake it in your image.
Yeah.
If you succeed, great. But I'm not impressed, because why don't you just go over and make your own comic? So now you're only just using it for the namesake. You just wanted the X-Men so that people would read your comic, and you get a chance for someone to open the cover of your book because it has X-Men on the front of it.
Or it's like Spider-Man shows up to the X-Men mansion and Sentinels attack, and he's like, "Oh, I'm not a mutant." That whole trope. It's like, come on.
I just don't. I don't like it.
Yeah, they're not here for me.
Yeah.
Right.
Juggernaut's over here huffing and puffing. I'm not a mutant either.
Yeah.
No, leave me alone. Captain America, Iron Man, not mutants.
Nope.
Standing back like, mutants could probably handle that. They're tough.
Right, they're doing just fine.
I mean, like Captain America doesn't have a problem with the fact that there's an agency in the U.S. creating murder robots to kill citizens of the United States.
Yeah.
Captain America doesn't have a problem with that. Get the fuck out of here.
The TVA is like, oh, you know what? The X-Men, they can do whatever the fuck they want. It's on the sacred timeline.
Oh yeah.
They're the only group that gets a pass on this one. We don't care.
Right. So, but
it makes for a good story, though.
True.
It does.
And then if it doesn't make for a good story, they just turn it and nobody
just
knows.
retcon. That didn't happen.
Oh, that was earlier, or 1741. You guys didn't recognize that? Angel's hair was parted on the left side. That only happens in 1741. But,
or the one episode of the animated series where Storm had her hair in a ponytail.
Right.
I noticed.
Talk about crossovers that I would kill to see made into a movie or something like that, was when the X-Men went to Asgard to help out the Asgardians. That Storm becomes Thor.
Oh, that sounds badass.
Like, just Google the image of Storm as Thor. She looks so cool. It was just an X-Men annual. It was a one-off. It was so good. Like she literally becomes the goddess of thunder. It's just great. It's a great imagery.
Or there's a book I have where the X-Men get transported onto the Starship Enterprise.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It was Captain Picard.
Yeah.
You know what crossovers I've been seeing is the Godzilla crossover. Those have been popping up. Like Spider-Man versus Godzilla. Godzilla becomes Venom for a minute there.
The Carnage.
Yeah.
Sounds like there's a then if we needed to start doing.
Yeah, right?
Right.
If then.
Because I think at the time in that Asgardian thing, I think Thor was still a frog. There was a long time, like months and months of comics when Thor was running around as a frog with his Thor powers.
Right.
And he lived with other frogs. It was really bizarre. And Frog Thor was something else. It was something else. I think that's the whole reason they put that alligator Thor in, or alligator Loki in,
because the Frog Thor.
Loki seat because of Frog Thor. I think it was like a thing to that. Yeah, there we go. It's X-Men, giant-sized X-Men number 9. The cover of that. Marvel giant-sized annual X-Men number 9. It's such a great image.
That didn't come out that long, last few years?
What? No.
Or is that like long time?
Long time ago. Oh, yeah. That was probably... Shit, that had to be the 80s.
Oh, that is a cool cover.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
It's such a great
Oh, 1985. So it was a while ago.
Yeah, that's like this is the saga of Storm, Goddess of Thunder.
Yeah, just a few years ago. 40 years.
Yeah, I was 13 reading that comic.
Oh, here,
Seraph
hasn't even born yet.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. But yeah, I like Thor, or Storm as Thor with the hammer. And that's where Wolfsbane finds a clan of werewolves because they live in Asgard, and she has a relationship with one. They had a litter. It's kind of funny, but yeah, it was a great series. Nightcrawler hung out. Do you guys know who the Warriors 3 are? Volstagg, Hogren, and Fandral the Dashing. But they actually appeared in Thor Ragnarok. You had the Asian guy, that's Hogren. The big guy is Volstagg, and then the guy with the pointy beard, the blonde guy with the pointy beard, that's Fandral the Dashing. So they're 3 or 4 Thor's friends. They're the Warriors 3. They're the best friends. Grew up with Thor. They're whatever. But Nightcrawler becomes one of those guys. He's all swashbuckling. I love swashbuckling Nightcrawler. It's one of my favorite pirate Nightcrawler. And it was good. But God, that was a good comic.
I like Nightcrawler with 3 swords. That's what I'm signing up.
Oh, he does. He's got his tail. Yeah.
Yep.
It's good. I like Nightcrawler.
X-Men 97.
Yep.
He did that a lot in Excalibur. The Excalibur comics, we should talk about those sometime.
Yeah.
We'll do a dive into Excalibur. That was a great series of comics too.
It really was.
Ugh. But yeah, I think we got Angel pretty licked.
Yeah. Anything else?
Like all of the like all these hot girls that he has a problem with.
It's a weakness. It's a major weakness.
You know what? We all have our vices.
Yeah, we do.
But
all right, guys.
Pleasure,
well, great episode. We'll catch y'all later. Thanks everybody for showing up.
And for every time we wing it. I'm sorry. Night, guys.
See ya.
When he'd gone dark, he'd gone evil again, and Jean Grey from the Age of Apocalypse dimension killed him. And he let's give it a second.
Yep.
You can pause it out.
We can cut this out later. Ellie, that's gotta be uncomfortable. Ellie's laying below me with her face on the metal pole of the desk.
All right. We can't hear you.
Excuse me, guys. Pardon me.
It's okay.
You all right?
We just want to pause this so you can take this chunk out.
Yeah, we figure we'll just take this chunk out.
You know what? Clip it. Add it to the end of the video. It'll be the bloopers. I took a drink and I just decided to exhale at the same time. It just all went in my nasal cavity. It was awful. I forgot how to drink and
That's funny.
It is.
But
you know what? It didn't feel funny at the time, but I'm gonna look back at this later and be like, what an idiot.
What an idiot. But
funny.
So